All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the Smacktalk Wrestling Podcast, Episode 10, Wrestlemania Night 1. This would be also night 1 of 2 shows for the Smacktalk Wrestling Podcast this weekend. Angel, Gonzo, welcome. How'd you guys like day 1? Let's call it day 1 because we got Stand and Deliver to talk about. So day 1 of WrestleMania weekend. What do you guys think? Just overall thoughts. Don't dive into too many things. Thumbs up. We got a thumbs up by A-OK.
7 hours of my life dedicated to wrestling today.
That's right, man. That's right. So
good day of wrestling.
Big spectacle. Maybe next year we'll be in Minnesota or Vegas for it. You know, we'll see what happens. But how you guys doing today before we get into it?
Doing great. It wasn't a perfect day, but it was good. I enjoyed it.
It's only night 1. It's only night 1.
Night 1. That's right. I agree.
All the spectacularness will happen tomorrow. But it is getting shitted on the Twitters, which is I'm kind of surprised because I personally enjoyed the show. So, and David knows I don't like anything. So,
it's night 1. That's all I'll say.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I personally enjoyed the show. So it is what it is. But let's get into it.
We talked about earlier, it's going to be today to me was before it came out. Like, I should have said this in previous episodes, but I felt like tonight would be a safe show or a safe day. And tomorrow we'll see more extreme stuff. But yeah,
it certainly was. So I definitely agree with you on that. But let's just get right into it. We got a lot to cover today for day 1 of WrestleMania. Let's get NXT Stand and Deliver, the WrestleMania for the up-and-comers, the minor league, whatever you guys want to call the developmental brand, which is not so much a developmental brand in my opinion, because they put on a hell of a show. So the opening match was the NXT Tag Team Championship match with the Wolf Dog. Gonzo's boys, the Wolf Dog retains. I believe Angel and I chose Axiom and Frazier last week.
Yes, you did. Yes, I chose Axiom and Frazier.
I wanted the Wolf Dogs to lose for Braun to get out of there, and that's not happening now. So sweet.
Just to reiterate, me and Angel chose whoever won that triple threat match, which should have been
the OC.
The OC.
Oh yeah, it should have been OC. That's right.
Why? I don't get it. But we're not here to dive. We're not here to talk about last week. But
that's a Tuesday problem.
But the Wolf Dogs retained surprisingly. Gonzo, take me real quickly. What'd you like about that match? Were you surprised? Did you call it?
I've been calling it for weeks now. You know that. Because it makes no logical sense. It makes no logical sense whatsoever. And you know me. I usually flow with things that piss people off. And this was one of those situations where the nonsense, they ended up pulling it out. So I will say that the Axiom and Frazier, they work really well together as a tag team. And as far as their in-ring chemistry, that was really good to see. And of course, we have Corbin and Braun going over somehow, some way. And sure, why not?
I just don't get it, man. I don't get it.
We don't need to understand. It's the fact that Braun won, and therefore he's going to continue that momentum elsewhere. That's really the best thing I can come up with.
Right. I mean, Axiom and Frazier definitely looked fantastic together. I truly thought they were going to pull it off. Where the spots that they're doing, Axiom Spanish fly to Braun, and then Frazier immediately hitting with that 450. I thought it was over, and then Braun did Braun things and kicked out. That was crazy. Corbin hitting big splashes, his big ass, So
Corbin's revitalized down in NXT, huh?
He really is. And then Frazier hitting that freaking Phoenix splash, and they still don't win. Why are we keeping Braun on NXT? I guess we'll find out. But unless you want to say anything else about that match, I mean, we could just move on. But I thought that match opening was absolutely nuts. It was probably my favorite match on the NXT show. I mean, I don't know.
There was some bangers for sure on this entire card.
There were some bangers. All right, James Barnes, thanks for joining, my guy. Terrellism, before we move on, I'll start the violence this evening, 6.5 out of 10. Best match was Sammy versus Gunther and Rhea versus Becky. The rest was a slogfest. Great pageantry stories and production, but mid-pro wrestling.
That's fine. We'll touch base. We got better than mid. That's fine.
Mid would be like 5.
I'm saying 6.5 was pretty great.
That's not terrible.
Great show, James. We're like I said, guys, we are breaking down NXT quickly before we get into WrestleMania. We'll get into the violence. Next, we got the NXT North American Championship match: Obafemi versus Dijak versus Josh Briggs. I think everyone is a damn fan of Obafemi, and with 3 big time guys in this triple threat, this match was absolutely a banger as well. Gonzo, what do you think?
Towards the middle of the match and towards the end of it, I think couple of those guys ran out of gas because they were looking pretty sluggish at that point, especially Briggs. Briggs looked by the way, he doesn't sell pretty much anything. I'm just gonna say this now. Like there's a point where like they have Oba in the middle of the ring, like dead to rights, and like Dijak is like, let's go, and he's like beating the shit out of him, and then Briggs is just like staring at him aimlessly. I said, okay, man.
So you're saying your boy Josh Briggs didn't win you over with tonight?
No, he did not win me over. Match? No, there's he had some pretty cool spots, like the spot where Oba's sitting in the chair, and then all of a sudden
that little choke slam looking thing.
Yeah, the choke slam into the chair was pretty cool. So
that was nuts. That was nuts, dude.
There were good spots, but like I said, I feel like towards the midway end of it, there was a couple guys that ran out of gas.
Dijak on that Canadian Destroyer though.
Oh no, I was anticipating. I said he does one big spot per match, and he had I think at least 2 of them. So he looked good like usual.
Dijak, you're talking about?
Yeah, Dijak.
Dijak, man. Okay. One thing I did notice before we move on is that even the announce team was just making Oba look like this unstoppable force. Like clearly they're putting at this guy that he just cannot be beat. So I feel like he's gonna hold on to this NXT championship for like a year.
So just a quick nod real quick as we're going through NXT. I listened to it with no audio because it was my wife's party today. We just had some friends over. So we're listening to like Dave Matthews Band is, it's all being like sung to us very mellow, and dudes are just rocking each other with chairs and, steel pipes and what have you. So
you get to hear Booker T, bro?
Nothing. I heard nothing. So literally all I'm watching is just, again, them going through the actual match.
Well, this leads me to my last audio disappointment of this match. I'm very disappointed in the NXT crowd because Obafemi came out, with his song with the
nobody chanted?
Nothing. No one was chanting.
Well, I can hear. Here's the thing. Those are probably a lot of people that are there for WrestleMania weekend, right?
And a lot of people don't watch NXT. I agree.
And a lot of people don't watch NXT.
How are the tickets sold for that? Did you get like that? Was that Stand and Deliver had its own sell?
Everything's separate.
They sell bundles though. They do
sell bundles. They do sell bundles for cheaper.
But how many people bought a 3-day bundle or
a lot of people do though. A lot of people do.
I mean, clearly
that's pretty expensive though.
At 16,000.
No, I'm saying though, like maybe some people can only afford the NXT show. You know what I mean? It might have been cheaper than the WrestleMania ticket.
But I'm just very disappointed in that crowd because I wanted to hear fucking 16,000 pluses. Ooh, crickets.
I mean, I would rather have you want Dave Matthews Band or crickets. It's up to you.
It was Philly. But you know what Philly fans are.
Yeah, Philly are garbage. Anyway, next is a match I didn't care for. But it did kind of surprise me with how decent it was. JC Jane, Kiana James, Izzy Dane versus Fallon Henley, Kalani Jordan, and Thea Hale. Fallon Henley, Kalani Jordan, and Thea Hale got the win. Hale wins it with a Kimura lock, but it wasn't on JC Jane, who she's been feuding with, which I thought that was interesting because maybe their feud isn't over, but at the same time, you kind of got that payoff. So I felt like she definitely could have hit it on JC Jane, which she kind of always just kind of ran for Thea Hale in that match. But what are your thoughts on that match, Gonzo?
There was enough storytelling to where you had ladies interengaging with one another to be able to deliver enough. And so, okay, Marc is always right. I don't know about that. I will say that I was not really too hyped for that match when it was initially announced, but the ladies, they balled out. I was thoroughly impressed, actually. That was one of those cards or spots on the card where I was kind of like, shoulder shrug. But again, me having no audio whatsoever and just watching the match for what it was.
You're really disappointing me right now. There's no audio Dave Matthews Band crap.
Hey, it was my wife's birthday. Whatever she wants, she was able to get.
I mean,
so
if there's a show you're going to watch with no audio, I feel like NXT is a good one because everyone in that whole roster knows how to wrestle. So,
for sure.
In ring, NXT is really good to watch without any type of extra stuff going on. You don't need extra
Yes.
sauce for NXT stuff.
Can I
matches.
trust you to not break my neck? That's it. I mean, if you can do that, then we can do business. So
I don't know. All right. Next we got the women's NXT North American Championship announcement. So NXT is getting a mid-card belt.
The Rock's daughter announced it, by the way.
She did.
should have.
she finally did something.
Freaking finally that number one, the Rock's daughter did something, even though she really didn't. They just told her.
Say her name, or she's just the Rock's daughter forever.
She's the Rock's daughter, Ava Rain. But yeah, she's the Rock's daughter. And number two, this needs to be on the main roster as well. But this is definitely a first for the women. WWE has all these women, but they only push whoever's in the title picture. So this will help 100%, and it needs to be on the main roster as well. So
I think that's why
guys
she's
share the
doing
same
it
thing.
first.
Yeah. So maybe a women's intercontinental championship.
Yeah. Like AEW's got the what is it?
TBS.
TBS.
Mhm.
TBS version. Yeah, it'll be very similar to that. Yeah.
I mean, I would rather see the mid-card belt than a women's tag team because they give zero effort in a women's tag team division. Can you tell me who the women's tag team champions are right now? Because I can't.
The Kabuki Warriors.
Oh, see, they were in a freaking match tonight. I remember.
You forgot they had the titles?
Forgot. Because that should have ended then. Why are we in a freaking six-woman match then? That's so stupid.
Kabuki Warriors, bro.
Whatever, man.
Trigger content.
Gonzo, I assume you're ecstatic about this situation as well.
Oh, I love the women's build-up. WWE's ability for what they've been doing for women's wrestling the last 8 to 10 years now has been phenomenal.
So
They've had a really good.
At the end of the day,
talent.
this is going to help WWE even more because a lot of women, and even Becky Lynch, even said, where does she want to go? To TNA. Why? Because TNA treats their women like superstars. Even though they don't have the talent that WWE has, they have, the championship. They have tag team championships. They have the mid-card championship for TNA. Every woman wants to go to TNA because there's so much opportunity. But now it seems as though WWE starting to slowly go to that route, and that's what I love. But moving on, the women's NXT championship match, Lyra Valkyria defends against Roxanne Perez, and Roxanne wins with a crossface. Angel, take us. How do you like this match?
Yeah, it was probably my favorite match of the night. I felt like in ring, it looked really solid. They performed very well. I mean, the way they were moving off the ropes into each other, I saw them go off the ropes like 50 times. It was insane. The way they were able to put each other into different locks. I mean, get out of locks. The way they were hitting each other, it just felt like an old school technical wrestling match. And it was cool to see. And they're not that big of figures, like stature wise. They're both kind of smaller stature competitors, but they made it look like they were big time stars that deserve to be in a title match. And when I first was thinking about this match for today, I was like, we'll see how it goes. But wow, like Prodigy looked great, Valkyria looked great. Like I couldn't believe how good they had performed in that match itself. It was really entertaining, really good, just really good wrestling. And she won. Prodigy won with the crippler crossface. So.
With the crossface.
Crossface.
That's what it's called. It's actually called like the label lock, I believe, or something.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Gonzo, what do you think about this match?
Unfortunately, I didn't really watch too much of it. I had to help around for the party, so I seen like parts of it. I did see how she ended up winning, though.
Rewatch it, just for the technical wrestling.
It was a good match. Angel and I were talking, in our group chat, and the match literally reminded us of He Who Shall Not Be Named versus Kurt Angle. Like it was just like a classic technical
Angle versus Shane McMahon. That's good to know.
Yeah, it was just a classic technical match that you really don't get often. Let alone you don't get the type of match from the women of the WWE. I mean, the holds that they were putting in, the longevity that they did, the spots that they were doing. I
feel like that's good for wrestling because I think what happens too much in current day wrestling is that Canadian Destroyer, then into a 450 splash, and then all of a sudden you hit me with the flaming chair and you kick out at one, and it's like
this match was not that at all.
It's like cool. All right, so now what are you gonna do to me? You're gonna throw an entire planet at me like Thanos did to Tony Stark.
Well, the Bloodline versus Cody Rhodes and Rollins tonight.
Well,
Yeah, we'll
I mean,
talk
I
about
was
that later, but
well,
that's what
we'll
happened.
get
Yeah.
there. But again,
Yeah.
the technical wrestling, I'm very refreshed to see that, and the fact that the women were the ones that decided to do that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fine. I'll definitely go back and watch that because those two
Yeah.
I've enjoyed throughout their entire back and forth that they've had. I appreciate wrestling like that. I really do.
Dave Meltzer, who hates WWE, would be proud.
He would be
Yeah,
proud.
they were in the
He
lab. Those two
he would
girls,
still
for
probably
sure.
give him a 4-star rating.
Probably 3.75.
Or like a 4.375 to like the 10th power. He just makes up random things now too.
That's what he does. He's a joke. Anyway, all right. The NXT Championship match: Ilya Dragunov, the champion, defending against my boy Tony D. Angel, we'll start with you. What'd you think of this tragedy that happened tonight? Or this morning?
Your boy Tony D got his ass kicked. Man.
Clapped. You got clapped.
I don't know what the angle is here. We'll see as the story continues between these two. But Tony D did not look very good out there. He didn't get any help. He asked for no help. It was a clean match. It seemed like I don't think there was any interference by anybody.
Nope,
I think
nothing.
Yeah, Stacks I think offered, and Tony told him back up. Yeah, and I mean it was just an absolute massacre. Ilya just beat his ass and then won, and that was it. His hand was hurting, but he still hit him with the H-bomb like what 3 times?
Yeah,
2 times at least.
Put him through the table.
To the table was a dope.
I put him through the table. Yeah, I mean, he just kicked his ass, and I love Tony, but he got his ass kicked. So I don't know. Ilya looked pretty good out there.
I mean,
even injured.
Besides Tony D hitting that fucking crazy belly to belly off the top rope.
Yeah, that was a good spot. Yeah, it was.
It was like nothing to me. Although Gonzo and I did predict that Tony D was going to lose. I just don't think. I don't think the story's over.
No, I don't think it's over. I had Tony D winning because I thought he was flaming, but
he is still flaming
right now.
He is still flaming. I just don't understand why they made him look so weak. I mean, you could still lose that match, clean, and still put up a good fight. And I felt like he just got clapped. I mean, so
Yeah.
I guess if we're doing storytelling, what you could say as an angle is that because this match was so shortly put together, that you could say that the Don did not necessarily take him as serious because of Stacks and the family and the entire restaurant. I mean
he took him on a ride in the Hyundai, bro.
Yeah, but they got rid of the Hyundai, so they had someone else pull up like in a Lincoln Navigator or something.
I'm thinking Tony D is pretty. He seemed pretty like face friendly in that match, and him getting his ass kicked. I feel like now he's just gonna go full Roman Reigns and be like, interfere every match. I'm never losing again. Jump in, distract the ref, take out anytime I'm getting pinned. Like it's gonna be straight bloodline style with the family. I think that's what they might go with now.
Do you think anything between him and Stacks?
No, I don't. I know you guys are feeling.
I don't.
There could be something there.
I don't agree. I don't agree. No, it's not you guys. That's this guy right here.
Oh, okay. Gonzo was feeling that Stacks might be on the outs there.
He's trying
to do a little
disrespecting the Don.
He didn't disrespect that. He respected the Don by listening to what he said.
Here's the knuckles.
He's like, got it. No problem, guy.
I mean, Stacks was there from the whole time. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong.
So
he did what he was supposed to.
He did exactly what he was supposed to.
It was a good match, so I had fun watching it, though.
All right. The main event, which shouldn't have been the main event, Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams. The most, what was it? They said the most important match in NXT history or something like that. Like the most.
It underwhelmed.
Oh, who you telling? But they were making it think this is they said it was the biggest match in NXT history, more than any other championship. Everything, any type of match that they've ever done.
The crowd was there for Trick at the start of it, though.
They did.
The first time we heard them all night.
It's the only time they showed up that night.
Just whooped that Trick. That's all they wanted to say.
Yeah, Trick shirts were all in the crowd, so at least they were buzzing for that.
He's a star, man. But this match should have been a banger, especially to take the place of Lyra Valkyria. That one should have been the main event. I mean, to take the place of the men's. I mean, I don't know. But like I said, Trick Williams won. What do you guys think overall? Me and him thought we thought it overwhelmed. What do you think, Angel?
You mean underwhelmed?
Yeah,
it was.
I got distracted.
It was underwhelming. I'll agree. Carmelo looked really good to me. I thought he pulled off a lot of good spots. Trick kind of underwhelmed for me a little bit. I was expecting more from him. I thought he would hype up the crowd more. He just seemed like, and they were talking about like Booker T calls him a fighter instead of a wrestler. Is that what he was saying about him?
Yep. The entire time.
And he did look like that. And at first I thought Booker was burying him a little bit, and I was like, damn, that kind of sucks that he calls him a fighter, whatever, not really a wrestler. But dude, that's what he looked like out there today. And Carmelo is bouncing off the walls, or off the ropes, I should say. And
so, do you feel like Carmelo
behind?
Like you felt like Carmelo exposed Trick for being
in the ring? Yes,
okay.
I will say in the ring, yes. I know Trick is the bigger draw right now and the bigger name, like bigger pop, especially for the crowd. But man, Melo just looked better in the ring, and I think that's why it was underwhelming, because you didn't see. I mean, Trick wins at the end, but it's kind of like, one of the Gonzo finishers that he was talking about earlier. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. But I don't know. Melo just looked better. I was expecting more from Trick in the ring there. It wasn't that. Yeah, it was underwhelming. So kind of stunk that it
I agree.
was that way.
Trick needs some work still. I don't think his main roster call up is going to come anytime soon.
When the ref was continuously down, which was fine, but
that did happen a lot.
It kind of annoyed me because Williams did get his revenge with the chair shots, but with the refs down so much, this guy should have went. That should have been his stand and deliver moment. Just him just wailing on Carmelo like Carmelo did to him. Like that should have been his moment. And that didn't. He hit him once or twice, and then the ref took it away. It's like, I don't know. I felt like for this to be the main event, taking the spots of championship matches, this match should have been a 5-star match, and it wasn't.
No, definitely wasn't. Yeah.
And we could have had, at this point, maybe Carmelo should have won, because maybe they could have had a better blow off. But with Trick Williams beating him, this is the match that we got between the feud, and I think Melo called up. It's done.
I mean, we're leaving the territory of wrestling kayfabe and all that. Do you think Carmelo felt like he should be getting pushed, not Trick, and he just did everything on him today and made him like he did show him up today, like on purpose? Like that's what it felt like to me. I don't know. Watching it just seemed that way. Like it didn't seem like they were in sync for two guys that have been fighting together for how long now? It did not seem like they were
2 years.
Yeah, it did not seem like their choreography and everything was just not perfect, especially from Trick. I don't know. It just seemed off a little bit for me.
That's a good point, bro. I mean, I kind of agree. Gonzo, do you agree with that, or?
It just seemed different. I don't know.
I mean, the ending, I could definitely see that, because the ending, it was very flat ultimately. Mm-hmm. And I mean,
I agree.
As far as Trick, he's undersized in comparison to, Melo, he's undersized in comparison to Trick. I mean, you could clearly see the build and the height difference, right? But again, it's one of those things where I do agree with everybody that Melo put on one hell of a performance, because when he was getting wailed on with that chair, I mean, he was selling really, really good for that. And there are some exchanges that Trick has where it doesn't necessarily go over smoothly. And it very could be that, again, I'll use a Chicago reference here. It could be like Carlos Boozer versus those 2011, 2012 Miami Heat teams. Boozer would come in, slay the bums like the Charlotte, Hornets and everything, the Bobcats. And all of a sudden, when you needed him most, he would just falter in the main light. Or when placed against superior opponents, this is what he is. I don't know if that's what we've seen tonight, unfortunately.
I don't agree with that. I understand what you're saying. Number one, Boozy Booze is the greatest power forward the Bulls have ever had. Number two, Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov was a banger until, he lost. So I don't believe that at all. I think maybe Angel got something here. There's no reason they shouldn't have had any type of good choreography during this match, because him and Dragunov tore the house down.
I agree. Yeah.
Why couldn't they do it with Carmelo Hayes? I don't know. Or maybe the story,
something was just off.
Maybe the story's not over. Maybe Carmelo shows up on Tuesday.
I don't think it's over. Something else is
So-
going on here. We'll see though. We'll find out.
So we shall see. All right, before we move to WrestleMania tonight, we got a comment. Let's see what this guy said. Andy Wynn says only best match of the night is the women's champions and tag team ladder match.
Respect.
Oh, that's the main card that he's referring to.
Main card, unless he's including Lyra
women's-
Valkyria versus Roxanne,
Yeah.
which go back, Gonzo. Watch it. All right, WrestleMania night 1. Here we go. Rhea Ripley defending against Becky Lynch. Motionless in white. Great performance for Rhea Ripley. That's her favorite band. Ripley
Great entrance.
retains. Great entrance. She looked like an absolute star, as she should. She's the best woman in wrestling right now. Angel, thoughts on the match?
Gonzo, you're wrong again about Rhea Ripley for like
Wow.
the third or fourth time now. I don't know how many times she has to just destroy everybody you think is gonna beat her. She's not losing anytime soon. So just start realizing that it's gonna be a while, bro. It's gonna be a while before she loses, unless she gets hurt.
I think she's getting the Roman Reigns treatment right now, bro. It's gonna be a
She's
minute.
gonna, bro.
It's gonna be a minute.
If Becky Lynch doesn't beat her, there's one hope you have.
Becky Lynch
she
was the
wrestled-
Stone Cold.
You
Or
have one hope.
one of them
and
was,
she
yeah.
just got here. She just debuted tonight, but we'll talk about her later. But
Oh, Jay,
this
okay,
match, it was a good match. There was pretty good spots. Becky was sick. She had
Yeah,
a
let's give her
fever.
her
We're
flowers,
talking about it.
man. Got the flu game going on
So-
here.
She had the flu game going on, and it was 40 degrees out there. Like their hair was blowing. My wife was watching it with me. She was like, "Yo, their hair is like flying." I'm like, "Yeah, it's windy." She's like, "Why are they outside?" I'm like, "It's a football stadium. They're outside. It's 40 degrees." So I gotta give props to Becky. I mean, she didn't look sick in the ring. She looked like she performed I've seen a lot of her matches recently, and she looked like she performed the same as she normally does. She
According to
gave her
this,
the
Derek,
manhandle slam.
according to this,
So-
Derek, the guy could give a shit. He said Becky Lynch is a Stone Cold loser.
Well, he's a Rhea guy too. But
He said
Shut
flu
up,
game
Derek.
and she is Jordan. Too bad Rhea was prime LeBron. Okay, we're taking this guy out.
Wait, what was that last one?
He said flu game and she is Jordan. Too bad Rhea was prime LeBron.
God.
How old are you? Like 12? Like,
anyway, it was a good match, and yeah, Becky performed well, but Rhea is just a superstar. She's a superstar, like you said, Mark. Every which way right now in the ring. They were both selling pretty good. It was a really good match in my opinion. Probably one of the top matches of tonight for sure. Like top 2, top 3 matches of the night.
Gonzo?
I am just very happy that Mommy won because I felt that
What?
the way that look
Wait.
at Sami Zayn, for Christ's sake. Look what happened there. I
You're
wanted
jumping
Gunther
the
to win.
gun. You're jumping the gun.
Fine, I'll go backwards. It pained me to say that Rhea Ripley was going to lose. I wanted Mommy to win. However, the way that Becky Lynch was getting all of this momentum
Oh, I see what you're
with,
saying, Gonzo.
with
I got you. I
beating
got you.
like
Okay.
opponent and Chamber and Nia Jax
Yeah.
and
The storyline was going that way. I got you. Yeah.
exactly the way that the story was being presented to me, it made me very concerned because again, my wife was Rhea everything nonstop the whole time, and so
But that's why she lost.
interestingly enough, this is what really caught me off guard was that crowd was booing Becky Lynch at multiple points in the match, and as that match continued, the boos got bigger and bigger. And when Mommy was finally doing some things to just really end the match to get to that climax, crowd was going nuts. That was amazing.
Becky couldn't finish her story, according to Derek the guy.
Clown face emoji as well.
Clown face
He's
emoji.
supporting The Rock.
So Becky Lynch doesn't get boos. She got booed tonight because she faced the biggest female superstar in the world.
And again, that's why I said it caught me
Mhm.
by surprise when I heard that, and I said, "Oh,
Mhm.
oh, did they pull an
That's how
audible
big she is.
potentially in the match?" That's also a question.
Nah,
No.
she lost because she has the same story as Seth Rollins. They're doing too much before their match, and they did not focus on the match at hand. That's the narrative,
And she was
that's-
sick. She got like
Yeah.
50 excuses now.
That's the narrative, bro. She did too much. She freaking fought Nia Jax 2 weeks ago in a freaking last man standing match, bro.
And she
You
almost
kidding me?
died in it.
You bro, you kidding me right now?
We're gonna hear her cry
Like,
about all of this now, and I'm not for it.
come on. But let me give her flowers. Lynch's ring gear has her quotes from her book. I thought that
Yep.
was freaking dope. Number two, do you think Lynch and Seth like share a wardrobe or something? Because these
They were the exact same stuff. Yeah.
like Jesus Christ.
Definitely the same tailor and same stylist. That's for sure.
Right. And lastly, that superplex transitioning into the disarm her.
Yes.
Sick.
Yeah. Technical wrestling was shown there.
Why those fans booed that spot? Because that's where they really booed. Because I think they thought she was going to win, and that's what
I thought she was going to win. Yo,
I thought she was going to win
winning
right
too.
there.
When she
In
had
that
the
spot.
disarm, I was like, yo, she's about to lose. I thought Gaza was about to be super freaking right. And then I was like, oh, thank God.
That's what it was. But yeah, moving on. But real quick, Derek, the guy again, he's on it with the comments tonight. Rhea versus Jade at WrestleMania 41, main event night 1.
Night 2.
Oh, night 2.
That's gonna be night 2. I bet you. I bet you'll be night 2.
Okay. So you guys are saying Jade is getting a meteoric rise. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, we see it coming. But
okay. All right. Transition to the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship ladder match, where both championships were up for grabs, like I said. And the winners were who?
Rated R?
Oh, the awesome truth.
Mark's boys.
And who?
Hey, me and you were both right.
A-Town Down Under.
Me and you were
I
both right.
I predicted this match to a T. I said they would split, and the exact winners won. Give me my flowers.
Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Overall, what do you guys think of the match?
We all suffer now though, because you're right. Because
the strong big boy.
Are you really happy with the winners? I mean, come on.
I was for Awesome Truth. I mean, you don't have to be so bitter right now. You're getting victories over me left and right. I think you got like a chalkboard over here to the right every time.
Right here.
I'm right.
Right here. Read this comment. R-Truth finally gets some props. Number one, he finally got a WrestleMania moment.
Yep.
Number two, the story comes full circle.
Yep.
The Judgment Day, he got kicked out of the Judgment Day after never being in the Judgment Day, but he thinks he was in the Judgment Day, and they treat him like shit.
That tag spot he had was so funny, dude.
Oh, dude.
That was amazing.
And the Miz did it though. The Miz did it though. Yeah. It was like,
and then he did the pin after the 8 or the 5 knuckle shuffle. That was hilarious.
Holy shit! Hold on. R-Truth got some dirt on someone. He survived too many purses in WWE. Maybe. Match was fantastic. Right people won. Pretty cool spots. Yeah, they had a lot of cool spots. The right people did win. The reason I picked
under.
Let me tell you.
They keep losing. So it's good to see them finally winning.
That's the point. The reason I picked them to win is because they need something to do. They need to figure out what they're doing with these young talents. They're both in their mid-20s, and they're getting buried right now.
This
is something to bring them back up.
Where the tag team division is, this is the starting line. Like Triple H had said, this is just the beginning right now. This era. This is a good starting point for the tag division right now, because we've been complaining about it. I've bitched about it. I will be the first to admit it. So I can understand this being a starting point, and let's see what they do with it now. They can't fuck it up now. It's got to be good from now on.
I mean, they can fuck it up because now.
No, I'm saying they better not.
Oh, let's just stay with tonight. Let's just stay with tonight. I'm happy. You're happy.
Hold on.
No, I don't want to turn this negative.
I'm about to mute you. The reason they're gonna fuck it up is because now you have to build 2 divisions again. That's the shit. That's the reason why it's gonna fuck up. That's what it is.
Please, Triple H, don't mess this up.
Let's talk about those spots though. New Catch Republic send Grayson Waller.
Rest in peace to Strong Big Boy. He's
Grayson
dead.
Waller, after he pulled down the title for his team, threw a freaking ladder, dude, and he looked like he was just dead that entire match until he finally just goes back and tries to get the other titles, like literally 25 minutes
for like
later.
2 seconds.
Like, dude.
Pete Dunne's head through the table straight into the concrete.
Ciampa took an elbow through the freaking ladder. Like, oh my god.
There was a lot of tough bumps in that match, bro.
There was.
I don't think guys came back from.
JD McDonough, rest in peace to his spine.
JD McDonough went through a table. Great overall storytelling. it was great overall storytelling in that match. One of the matches of the night. You could hate the winners if you want, but that match really did.
No, yeah, the match was
So,
fantastic.
Let's go to the
mine.
part. Let's go to the part
yeah.
where literally Awesome Truth almost died on the broken ladder.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
that's why Damien threw the ladder away. And
not right away, unfortunately. They climbed that
right
shit.
Away. Yeah, they almost died.
Let's answer a couple questions here. Is the Judgment Day over?
Mommy won, Dominic
Almost.
lost, and Damian Priest lost, and he's gonna cash in possibly
Tomorrow.
on night 2, right?
Yeah.
If it's not a successful cash in, we might as well say that the Judgment Day is coming to a close.
Dominic's been hanging out with Santos.
Yeah, he's in the Latino Wars now, bro. He's in the Latino Wars.
Rhea Ripley doesn't even come out with the Judgment Day like ever.
She doesn't need them. She's her own superstar.
Yeah. Finn now has no championships and is going to go back to being jealous of Damian Priest, especially 100%. If there's a successful cash in. Definitely,
he'll be feuding with Damian. I see it in the future for sure.
Definitely the breaking up in the near future. I don't think I've ever seen a ladder bend the way it did that match. Yeah,
it's pretty terrifying. I'm not gonna lie.
You could tell they make their own ladders, to try to make it safe.
They're made out of like particle board, and they're like aluminum, maybe.
You saw it in the match, cheap. Actually. Yeah.
So it looked like my knee, actually.
It's probably why the AOP weren't in this match, because if those big motherfuckers climbed those ladders, it probably.
Oh no. That's exactly what I was mad that they. Wait, who else was I mad that lost? Oh, Street Profits.
Yeah, Street
Profits.
His name's
too big. What's the big guy's name from Street Profits? He's too big too.
Oh,
they had so many ladder spots.
Yeah.
There was at one point every single member of each team was on a ladder at the same time when they got pushed over.
Yep.
The New Day and everyone. Yeah, that was a good match. It was a good match.
Terrellism says Theory was a hand-picked Vince star, 100%, and Triple H as soon as you could until now. So as we said earlier, could be a new era. This is a chance to fix him and Waller. They're both in their mid-20s. Both are great on the mic. Both are great in the ring. It's time to do something. That U.S. title run and the cash was forgettable for Theory. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I like Austin Theory. I'm glad he's getting a push with this title.
Another good spot, DIY coming out to DX.
That was my favorite part, Derek.
Regeneration X, yes.
That was amazing, dude. The pedigree, the sweet chin music, the entrance, the freaking green,
the clothes, everything, the hat.
Yeah, that was awesome. Loved it.
Was hoping Damien cashed in tonight and lost to Drew tomorrow. Now we need that payoff. But we'll see what happens.
Right.
What else? Let's see. I don't see Priest as any world champion WWE. There are too many hot feuds at the top of the card, and he's not involved in any of them. As long as he doesn't freaking cash in on Logan Paul, I don't care. Even if it's a failed cash.
Priest is losing a lot of heat right now, man. I feel like fans are not responding to him like I thought they would. I'll just say I like Damien, but I know a lot of people that don't.
Yeah, I like him a lot too, and WWE likes him too, so they might not even give him a failed cash in because everything he did with Bad Bunny, training him, he's a yes company, so that's why they gave him the briefcase.
Yeah.
Angelo Dawkins would have broke the ladder in a single step, 100%.
Yeah,
as a watcher who doesn't really watch wrestling outside of the special events, I thought DX was back.
So does our truth, bro. You're right there with our truth. Our truth gotcha.
And the last prediction before we move on. He will botch the cash in, or Finn will cost him. Interesting.
I agree, James. I think Finn will cost him somehow.
Okay. All right. We got Dominic Mysterio and Santos versus Rey Mysterio and Andrade El Idolo.
Latino Wars.
The Latino Wars. Mysterio and Andrade got the W thanks to Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey. I want to
educate the people who don't know who those people are.
Right tackle, I believe, Lane Johnson.
Right tackle, all pro right tackle,
and Jason Kelsey of the Eagles, who retired this year.
All pro center.
Brother-in-law to Taylor Swift.
Brother-in-law to Taylor Swift. But yeah, I thought that was weird, but I know that he was going to do something because of the Philly crowd, so that was pretty cool. I'm going to be honest, this should have been the LWO versus the full Legado del Fantasma. It shouldn't have been a 2-on-2 match because this should have been their blow-off, which I hope it was their blow-off. I don't want to see no more Latino wars, but everyone should have been involved. This should have been really like an 8-man tag. The
The
full
Latino Wars ain't ending, bro.
Carlito should have been in it. Like all. I do have a question about this match though. Does Dominic eventually join up with Santos? Does he go from faction to faction?
I mean, he
Yeah.
keeps pissing mommy off left and right now. So
100%. He's all in on the Latino Wars. He's there. It's done.
Latino Wars.
No, his dad is in this storyline again. It's the same. Yeah, it's done. He's back.
What did you guys think of the match overall?
It was actually better than what it was. I'm actually happy that Dragon Lee wasn't in it.
Yeah, I think it was better without Dragon Lee. I agree with Gonzo. I think if Dragon Lee would have been in this match, it would have been a snooze fest, unfortunately.
Really? You guys don't like Dragon Lee?
Yeah.
I feel like Andrade has a little bit more charisma in ring performances, where his movement, I don't know, it stands out. Like, he can't talk on the mic, obviously, because of complications with language barrier, but his in-ring performance is definitely there. And I mean, like, I know I've been complaining, like, when are you going to use him more? When are you going to use him more? You can finally do something with him. And they did that as a curveball. Was it Friday Night Smackdown, right? As soon as that occurred. And it immediately made me feel better. Yeah, it made me feel better. It added a little bit more juice to this whole Latino war that's been going on.
Derek, real quick. I know you're saying better without Dragon Lee. It's not that Dragon Lee isn't a good performer or that he wouldn't make. The reason I say it's a snooze fest is because there's not enough there going on. Like, Dragon Lee just showed up, he got his ass whooped, and then he joined LWO, and that was it. Like, Friday with the turn, that became, wow, actually, I'm interested now. Like, look at this. Like, Dom got screwed over, now they get to fight. You know what I mean? Like, it was just more fun. I mean, Dragon Lee, yeah, maybe would have got more spots. It would have looked cooler.
Well, Derek wants to take a guy's job. So
he's been gunning for mine for quite some time now. So
whatever. Andrade
I understand what you guys are saying because I love Andrade. I don't think he was utilized right in WWE the first time. He wasn't utilized right in AEW, and he hasn't been utilized right in this current run until right now. So I agree with you on that. But to say better without Dragon Lee can go. So
I mean, it's not so much that you can perform. Here, let me rephrase this. Andrade has actually had more spots throughout the last month.
Said that he would have had a snooze fest.
I said that, and I apologize. It would have been a snooze fest, like, story wise. Like, would you really care that Dragon Lee's in there?
I know I didn't. I didn't care it initially.
Okay.
I've been more curious about how Andrade was going to be involved with this whole thing, and the fact that he sided initially with Santos and then he jumped ship and turned.
That's why it should have just been.
You know what? LWO. They should have had Dragon Lee join Fantasma and then flip on them the way Andrade did. That would have been cooler. Why'd they just have him get his ass beat and then get thrown into the match?
Wait. Terrellism. He speaks.
All right. With the exception of Ray, masked luchadors don't do well in WWE. They don't know how to use them. WWE wants them to talk, whereas they work rate. What is it? They work rate beast best.
They are work rate beasts.
Oh, work rate beasts that can put up stellar matches with anyone. Got it. Sorry, reading is fundamental. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they had a lot of luchadors come in the company, and they haven't been utilized well. I mean, they had that fucking lucha house party that was a disaster. Why they had a lucha house party is just absolutely ridiculous. But I think Dragon Lee's the one. I think Dragon Lee's the hold on. I think Dragon Lee's the one who's reversing that theory, though. He's been performing well, so I don't know. Go on, Angel. You're saying
he didn't even need to talk. Dragon Lee for if they would have just done what they did with Andrade with Dragon Lee, it would have been way more exciting, and they could have done the exact same thing they did just with Dragon Lee instead. I don't know what happened there. I guess because Andrade can talk more and convince Dom to, like, talk to him and, like, meet with him, but I don't know. They could have done the same thing though.
Okay,
I'll say I'm intrigued now. But
well, then Lucha War, Latino Wars to continue.
Yep, to be continued. Latino Wars.
All right, we got brother versus brother, Jimmy versus Jay Uso. Thoughts on the match before I just obliterate it?
I was more intrigued by the tie-in story that it's going to have with the main story. That's it. Those two as performers, I mean, obviously main event, more charisma. He's a better in-ring performer. But as far as older brother, he's limited. And I mean, it was very evident. I mean, So
9 minutes
that's
over.
not why I wanted to watch the match. It was more about how are they going to tie this story now with the main attraction. So, I mean, because most tie-ins with comic books are garbage anyway. So, I mean, this was just getting us a little bit to that final product. I didn't expect much from this.
Angel.
Well, underwhelming in the ring. The spot where Jimmy tricks Jay with the tricking him that he wanted to forgive or ask for forgiveness.
I'm sorry.
That was probably the best part. As far as the match itself, I feel like these guys could do so much more. I don't know why they're always limited to, the repetitive rocks type spots, the punches, super kicks, the splashes. It's just like the same stuff over and over again. I feel like they could do a lot more. I don't know why they're stuck with the same routines every time they fight each other. I think Solo would have spiced it up a little bit, having all three brothers without anyone else overshadowing and being part of their story. Would have been cool to see Solo show up, maybe a little bit of like a brother triangle thing going on there where, they're all related. And the story-wise, this is amazing. But like outcome-wise, it's not there. I wish it would have been a little bit better.
I agree. I mean, Solo not being there was a miss. Rikishi not being there was a miss. For this to be brother versus brother, the emotion was not there, with the exception of Jimmy begging for forgiveness in that one spot. Other than that, they also had no chemistry, much like Carmelo and Trick. I mean, you guys grew up together. You guys said this was your dream match. This match should have stolen the show. I
was expecting a lot more.
It didn't. It didn't. Additionally, it was a super kick party, which the WWE marks on Twitters loved it, but yet when the Young Bucks do it in AEW every 2 seconds, they hated it. So there's that. So fuck you, WWE marks. Yeah, I swore. It was a super kick party throughout, which was lame.
Sorry for swearing.
Yeah, but I mean, but super kick party throughout the thing. Jimmy Beckford was great, but the match was underwhelming. The crowd wasn't even in it. Only when they were super kicking each other and they were yeet and no yeet chants. Other than that, it was forgettable. Jay was the obvious winner. It should have, but this match it was one of the ones I was really looking forward to, and it just really was just underwhelming.
Agreed.
The match sucked. Sadly, I think Jay got hurt and they audibled it. Very interesting. Can you elaborate?
That's true. That would make sense.
That's
true. That would make sense.
Can you elaborate as to which part that was, Derek? James says it was a dry ass match.
Unfortunate.
They needed to look for a tag at some point to try the 1T and not have the other person there. Something that shows something was missing. That would have been funny. But yeah, I mean, the match, I thought for sure to bring a Hall of Famer like Rikishi into that would have been really good. It would have helped with the storytelling. I understand Gonzo's point setting up for what later is happening. But I don't know. Derek, with the elaborate right here, says they went for a Samoan drop early and the ref went to talk to him between them.
Okay. I missed that.
I might have missed that too. Jay looked rocked. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, hopefully that's what it was.
Maybe that's what happened. That'd be terrible though, because how many chances you get to fight each other at WrestleMania? That sucks.
That would be terrible. And if he's like concussed or something, what does that mean for the
tomorrow?
Tomorrow. So
yeah.
So we shall see. All right. Moving on. Damage Control versus Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca Belair.
Worst match of the night.
I didn't watch it, unfortunately, so I can't say
that was a choice.
I saw I no, it was not. I watched the entrances. Jade looks amazing, as usual. I can't wait for her to do her thing, but I was not interested. Kabuki Warriors dancing to Bianca's song was funny too. Other than that, I didn't watch this match. So go ahead, boys.
The match was not good. Black versus, oh my god.
There's a lot of race wars going on in this WWE 2024. Like,
my god.
Yeah, Japan versus
my god, dude.
Lazy booking.
You just made me break character, James. What is going on here? Didn't even notice that. I mean, but yeah, the Black.
I got the side of the eye from Mrs.
Like
Gonzo.
Naomi, Bianca, you look like her.
So I thought the entrance. This is why I hate just random tag teams and mixtures, because they cut off the entrance for Jade, Belair, and all that. I mean, Jade should have had an epic entrance for her thing. I mean, she did look good in the match. I'm gonna give her that for her little time that she was in there. To be totally honest, the best part of that match was Bianca's fucking ponytail whip.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah,
that was so loud.
that hurt.
Dude, that was nuts. Other than that, I don't know. The presentation was phenomenal. It was a match just to get them all on the card, and it suffered because of it. Jade versus Naomi or Bianca would have been better. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I felt like if they wanted to showcase Jade, it should have just been a one-on-one match.
Or a triple threat between them, maybe even would have been.
But again, not enough time. This was a thrown together match. Not enough time to make the feud or anything worthwhile. So I mean, even if we would have gotten that, it probably wouldn't have been as good either because it was just thrown together, no emotion, no story. So, but we'll see what Jade Cargill does. I mean, everyone loves her. The crowd definitely loved her. She still got the pop. I love their outfits tonight. You know, signifying who,
the outfits
gentlemen.
were cool.
You know, she had who had the Cyclops.
Bianca.
Yeah, Bianca had the Cyclops. Obviously, Jade is Storm.
We'll see, like, their costumes don't make sense because literally the night before they came out in all cowboy, cowgirl. I mean,
I think they're
confused.
just finding cool matching stuff. Like, I think Naomi wore gold, Jade wore silver, and Bianca wore a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine for tonight, but like any other time, you know, like the other night, they all came out in cowgirl stuff, and it's like, I don't know. Like, to me, I didn't like how Jade was used in this. I felt it took away from her. I wanted more build-up. I didn't get that. Instead, she gets thrown in there, and it's just sloppy. Just very, very, very sloppy.
Lazy booking, as James said earlier. That whip was dope, 100%. That shit was nuts, dude.
Gonzo, you're 100% right. It was thrown together. What you're saying, the sloppiness of it is.
It was thrown together because if you watched our show last week, these guys didn't even know that match was announced.
Yeah,
we didn't. We didn't.
So it is what it is. All right, moving on. The Intercontinental Championship title match. Gunther defending against Sami Zayn. Angel, I believe. Did he get it right, or did we all get this wrong?
No, I think I called Gunther last week.
All right, then we all got this wrong.
But I did have, like, I had it in the back of my head, like, Sami was going to win this match. But, you know, go ahead.
Sorry. Well, go ahead. Talk to it. What'd you think of the match?
No, it went back to how I knew he was going to win. What was it? What did he win? What was that match? The battle royal, the gauntlet. When he won the gauntlet. I told you he was going to win
the gauntlet match that Derek says should have gone to Gable.
Yeah, exactly. Gable Creed.
So I knew when Sami won that match, or that he was going to win that match, because the storytelling they were giving. And he kept talking about how he was the underdog, and they were making him this, like, you know, David versus
Hulk
Goliath.
Hogan. That was Hulk Hogan.
So his Goliath was Gunther, you know, and we should have seen it. I did see it, but I just still felt like Gunther was just so hot. They weren't going to let him lose to Sami, who's also popping, but, you know, Gunther's just got this crazy. They must have other plans for Gunther. That's all I'm going to say. But I should have known that Sami was going to win. The way they were booking it, it was kind of like, it was obvious.
Gonzo, thoughts?
This is the mommy versus the man scenario. It's the same thing. You have champion that has had the title for X amount of time, and it's one of those things where I picked wrong, where of course I wanted Gunther to win, and I said, well, I guess Becky's winning, right? Because they built her up storyline wise to be able to push her over. So 50-50, at least with me calling it. You know, as soon as I seen his son and the wife, and then all of a sudden you see Chad Gable, and then he drops in there the Apollo Creed line. Well, now you owe me one. And then all of a sudden there's Kevin Owens. I said, well, I don't even need to watch the finish of this match because you just gave me everything I need to know. And sure enough, like, he was literally dead to rights. And then out of nowhere, he turned into Hulk Hogan / John Cena, where he just started
on the mat. He was hulking on the mat.
Right? Exactly. All of a sudden, I said, is he dying? Is he having a seizure? Because he just started doing like random movements out of nowhere. And then he just flipped the switch, and all of a sudden the match is over. I said, oh, okay.
I mean, the way they ended it was cool. And the way Gunther was talking to the mom, oh no, the wife, excuse me, the wife,
yeah.
She definitely distracted him because
and he started getting cocky.
He was gloating. Yeah,
exactly. Right. He overcompensated. It was like, you know, the freaking rabbit or the hare versus the turtle, or tortoise versus the hare. Like, he just got too cocky, and it bit him in the ass.
3 power bombs, 3 big splashes.
Mm-hmm. But he took forever.
Sami kicked out of 3 power bombs. I mean, I said, oh, okay, that's great. wears his red and yellow. He might as well just wore those goddamn colors tonight with the big chain.
Did he even get chopped? Did he get chopped? I must.
Oh,
have
they were chopping
yeah.
the shit. Dude, out the gate, he was chopping.
I must have missed that. Sorry, I can't remember.
Yeah, he was chopping. I thought that was great. And even the announce team did a great job because right out the gate, Sammy started chopping Gunther. They're like, "Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that, buddy."
Oh,
Like,
that's right. Okay.
I thought the match was fantastic. Probably the match of the night. Dude, the ending, the brainbuster off the top.
Oh, I thought he was going to paralyze him.
I didn't know what was happening.
I thought
they botched it.
No, that's a brainbuster.
No, I know, but when it happened, I was
like,
"Did he just break his leg?" I'm like, "What just happened?"
It's a lot of trust.
Yeah, dude. Into the haluva kicks. I thought the match, kind of saved the show because a lot of these matches were very dry. The match was insane. They took even the fans were in a lot of these matches, but this wasn't one of them.
Fans are in on this one for sure.
Sami Zayn, the true underdog Daniel Bryan role. That's what it was. But yeah, let's get into these comments real quick. Amazing match of the night. Sammy versus Gunther was the pro wrestling match of the night, and it was dope. There you go. What is this? Gunther versus Drew at Clash of the Casual is going to feed a generation. They had me fooled. Oh, I guess you thought Gunther was going to retain too. Looks like Sammy versus Gable. I think Gable turns on Monday night.
Yeah, he's ready for a turn.
Yeah, I think it's time for him to turn. And lastly, match was definitely insane. The Braid Buster made me pop. Made all of us pop because we thought he died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't. 100%. Dude, that camera angle too. The camera angle they showed it on, I was like, bro, what just happened? Like, it was so crazy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the match once again absolutely phenomenal. I'm not mad that Sammy won. I just didn't think he was going to win. It makes sense for Sammy to win, though. I mean, he ended.
The Ryan was on the wall.
He helped end the Usos' legendary tag team title run last year, and then he got another moment this year, ending the longest Intercontinental title reign. So good for him. I mean, he had to be fed something. So
I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Gunther now. I'm really interested to see how this.
Cody's going to need new challengers. So.
No, I know. So that's why
I've got one comment.
Kind of where I was.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Guns.
This is not from me. This is from one of our buddies, Eric. He was watching WrestleMania tonight, and he was not thrilled with this ending. He had said that this title reign should not have ended unless they are pushing Gunther for a world title.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what Marc said.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that in there. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that were taken back by this win. Yes, it was very good for the show, as much as I wanted Gunther to win. I mean, I have my thoughts on it, but overall,
he'll be in the main title picture for sure now. I mean, there's no reason going back. I mean, unless you guys are going to give him his rematch clause, which I doubt it, because Gable or Sammy owns Gable a favor. So WWE doesn't do automatic rematch clauses anymore. So it could be just a one and done. So we'll see. But definitely agree with Eric.
There was no Imperium out there, was there? Or did I
only at the start?
No Kaiser.
Only at the start. Yep.
Gunther, a lot of Gunther's matches are like that though. Like those dudes don't linger around and do bloodline stuff.
Yeah,
Gunther does heel tactics, but wins clean. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
So all right, main event time: the Bloodline, The Rock, and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins.
Fix that thumb. The Rock didn't do it. Rock made the proper one.
No,
The Rock made the proper one.
The Rock needed to win tonight to do this tomorrow.
Well, that's tomorrow. We're talking about tonight.
All right, Angel.
I don't think it really mattered. He would just tell the ref, "Shut the hell up," and turn around while we go outside or I'll fire you. It doesn't really matter. I don't even know why they have a stipulation because The Rock just makes the rules as the freaking match goes on anyway. So
that was great.
This whole match was pointless because
I was thoroughly entertained. That's what I will say. I was thoroughly entertained.
All right, well, thoughts on the match, guys? Go ahead. Thoughts on the match, guys? Go ahead.
Thoughts on the match. They fought for a very long time. It was cold as hell. Kept spitting water on each other. The Rock looked like he was lean. He performed a lot better than I thought he did. He fought a lot longer than I thought he did. He took that Cody cutter like a boss. Shout out to The Rock. I thought he did pretty well.
He went through a fucking table too.
Went through a table, lots of spots, lots of bumps.
That entrance though. The entrance was phenomenal.
the final boss video game style, like, and like that was like powering up like he's Goku or something. Like that was
Right.
amazing. Well, I lost my train of thought now, but no,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good.
Sorry.
It was very long. Yeah, The Rock looked great. Roman took a bunch of finishers. That was fun. The match was not perfect. There was a couple mess ups here and there. The Rock was hilarious, yelling at the ref every 2 seconds, making the rules as he went. Kept
Yelling at
everyone,
Mama
yelling at
Rhodes.
Mama Rhodes. The Rock's mom made a little cameo appearance in the corner. Lots of family were there. Brandy's dad was there. That was cool. The belt made an appearance. His belt was cool that he brought out from the People's Champion from last night at the Hall of Fame.
I don't just
everything.
to interject. I don't watch the Hall of Fame. I never do. I just see like the highlights of like the speeches. So I was talking shit to my boy. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that title? And he's like, oh, Muhammad Ali's wife gave it to him. I was like, oh, okay, I'll shut up. My bad.
Right. No, yeah, you're good. You're good.
I thought he gave himself a title, and I was like, okay, guys, like, you know.
The biggest thing I wanted to say, sorry, and I'll shut up finally about this match. I already said a lot about it.
Go ahead.
But you guys say your part. Seth Rollins fought way too long. I don't know how he's gonna do 2 more matches tomorrow. This is crazy. Him and Rock fought for a long time. There was a point where Cody did not get tagged in, I think, for like 15 minutes, where Cody was just standing there in the corner and Roman pulled him down or Rocky wouldn't let. Like, that was nuts. Like, if anyone got, like, this match was supposed to be so that Cody doesn't win tomorrow. Seth got screwed, dude. He is not winning tomorrow because his ass was fighting forever. Got spit on a million times. Feel bad for Seth. He's
Nope,
losing,
I don't. So. That's what he gets. This is what Drew McIntyre was trying to forewarn him about.
No, Seth got a lot of boos in this match. Seth was getting booed.
I like Seth, but yeah.
Gonzo, thoughts?
I was thoroughly entertained. I was holding my breath mostly when The Rock would just slightly move, because every time he's wrestled so far, he has like had a significant catastrophic injury. So, for those, like, if wrestling fans don't know, his match against John Cena the first time, he ends up hurting himself 2 seconds into the match and he ends up completing it. But I listened to The Rock give a commentary once because someone asked him, like, how come you don't have a 6-pack as far as ripped as you are? And The Rock said that injury has caused him, unfortunately, where his muscle definition won't allow it, because they had to do some type of like surgery in order to move some things around. So like, I treat him like CM Punk / Derrick Rose, where these dudes literally take one step and they're already broken. So that was my initial fear of The Rock just doing his placements throughout the match. You've seen that at the very start. No, seriously.
That was a work. You talking about the knee? That was a work.
No, not the knee. Just at the very start of the match, where everything was going super slow with The Rock and they're just kind of like moving him around and you're just getting punched. But then all of a sudden the match picked up dramatically, where all of a sudden, like you said, he's going through tables, he's beating the shit out of someone with his belt, he's taking bumps, he's getting Cody cuttered, he's getting pedigreed. I said, oh my God, the sharpshooter that he put on was actually a legitimate one for, it only took him 15 years to get that down. So at least the storytelling, I was screaming for the belt. I wanted to see the Mama Rhodes belt that delivered. And the moment that the belt was used, it was used only once, and it made all of the difference at the end. And you heard that.
The Crossroads, right?
Boom!
The Crossroads.
Yep. And for people who have never lifted weights before, those powerlifting belts are heavy as shit. Let me tell you that right now. That is no joke. When you get hit by that thing and the sound that it makes, those belts by themselves are at least like 2 to 4 pounds. So the sturdiness behind that, those belts are no joke. I was thoroughly entertained. I loved it. And I'm sure a lot of people did not like how this went. But you know what? This was part of the storytelling. And The Rock looked phenomenal on all parts. Heel to the max. And Cody, he looked great too. There were parts of the match where it did get a little bit dull. And it did get revved up a little bit. But I mean, what I had to remind myself when I seen that is, this is night 1.
This is the safe night.
This is safe night. This is night 1. And for The Rock, I wanted to see how he would perform. And I was happy. Seth, he had a lot of cool spots too, saving Cody, throwing him out of the way, and then you got the spear.
Oh, the gore, yeah.
The gore, whatever the hell.
Like 18 times. Like,
Hey, man.
Dude, The Rock was screaming like a baby when he got hit by that spear. He's like, ah!
One thing you can count on The Rock is
He
some
sells.
overspray.
He sells,
That was
man.
so funny,
He's
dude.
absolutely.
funny.
So, Mark, I'll turn it
No,
over to you because, like
I
I
mean,
said,
real quick, Gonzo,
I enjoyed
I
it.
just want to say
Go ahead.
I agree with everything you said about how that match went down and that you think that it was, a good match, but everyone's not going to be happy about it, but it went down the way it should have went down.
Oh yeah, there's not much I'm going to add. I'm not going to take too much time, so I'm not going to take any time at all. Actually, you guys pretty much hit it on the nose. Every spot we talked about was nuts. The Rock performed well. He fought a lot more than I thought he was going to fight. I thought he was going to be in this match like 5 minutes. So it was good seeing him flex his powers throughout the entire match. Screaming,
Oh yeah, that was great.
that's hysterical. But yeah, I mean, nothing else I can really add to it. Bloodline rules for tomorrow. It had to happen for the Avengers to align.
Bloodline rules happen tonight.
Bloodline rules happen tonight. Like Angel said, I mean, the stipulation really doesn't matter if The Rock's just out here making rules as he goes. He just came out and hey, Bloodline rules. Kidding,
So, how many referees do you think are going to be involved in tomorrow's main event? Because no, because you've seen The Rock literally flex, right? Do his thing for this specific match. The first one gets thrown out, and I guess is it old school? Is it old school Attitude Era where you have an established wrestler that puts on the stripes and literally just throws up his fingers to The Rock and does whatever he wants to, right? To do a fast count. I don't know. I mean, that could be something that could be, thrown in there now.
This is Bloodline rules. It really doesn't matter. All the ref has to do there is just count whoever goes on top.
Is it Stone Cold Steve Austin that comes out and puts on the stripes? And I mean, for payback, when ultimately Austin.
What if Austin comes out, gets the like he did to The Rock versus Mankind, and
he just comes out, hits him with the
chairs, puts Cody on top, walks out.
I don't know, maybe. Let's get to these comments. Prediction: Dustin will make an appearance to help out Cody as Goldust. We agree. With all his tweets and videos saying "fuck The Rock," if he's not there, I'll be very pissed off.
The Rock. That was so funny. That video.
People hate on this match, but I thought it was awesome. It is getting a lot of heat on Twitter that it went too long.
I liked it.
I liked it overall too.
Maybe we're biased because we're from.
It did go kind of long though. The match was like 40-something minutes, but I mean, it all flowed throughout the story, so I liked it.
Okay, that was fun.
Did anyone hear the leukemia line? Is Roman sick?
Yeah, that was at the start.
Yeah, we heard it. We actually talked about
said
it.
That was McAfee, and I think he was just saying it to just like talk about like what each person's dealing with. He said I think the line was like Roman's got leukemia in his body or something like that. Something along the lines of that. He's saying that because I mean, when you're in remission, it's not ever gone. Like, if you have leukemia, he's in remission. So something he dealt with, he's come back and become a superstar. It's amazing. It's an amazing comeback for everyone that has ever dealt with anything like that in their life. So I think that's where Pat was going with. Sometimes he says some stuff that are kind of outlandish. Pat, like I like him, but he says some kind of weird stuff. But I think that's all that was. I don't think that's anything serious like that.
He says, if so, the reason to take off the title of him and the reason he's been gone so much.
It could be though. You might be right. We'll see. They haven't really said anything.
He actually Googled the other day. We were talking about it. I mean, Roman Reigns defended his title like 28 times or something, some ridiculously low number for the amount he's held it. So it could be an issue. We don't really know. The only thing we do know that he's made public was that he was in remission. So I mean, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I think the match was 10 minutes too long. I don't think it was too long. I think it flowed, but it was long. I mean,
it was long.
Is it long because of the entrances?
Of course it is.
Dude, The Rock took like
Rock never comes out to the bloodline. If I'm Roman, I'm like, motherfucker, you're coming out with me. But whatever. Rock telling the ref not to count and he'd fire him was absolutely hilarious. Yes, it was.
The Rock was amazing. Dude, after the match ended, he was still yelling at the ref. That was the best.
Yes, it was.
The ref was even apologizing to Cody throughout the match that he couldn't do anything. Yeah. What do you want me to do?
He's like, I'm not getting fired. I got kids.
That was awesome.
Seth is getting destroyed tomorrow. Yes, he is.
Unfortunately. I love McIntyre too, though. So
Seth loses and he turns heel and challenges Cody soon, assuming his knee's not broken again.
You know what I thought towards the end of the match is when Cody and Seth came together and they like Cody was talking to him real quick. I thought Seth was going to turn on him right there. To be truthful with you,
was it after the pedigrees?
It was at the
double
spot.
pedigree spot.
It was at the
Yeah.
spot where, like,
That was
to
dope,
me,
too.
they were standing
They
in the
kicked
middle of
out.
the ring.
They
and
kicked out, and then they started talking together. Yeah,
they were talking together, and both The Rock and I think Roman were outside of the ring, and I thought that's how the match potentially was going to end, was that Seth was going to turn on him right there, just for a split second.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I totally forgot about that pedigree spot. Love that spot, dude. And the fact that both kicked out was nuts. What else? The Derrick Rose slander is unnecessary.
This guy.
And The Rock acted like he who must not be named.
I mean,
he is. It's Triple H is actually he who must not be named right now, but The Rock is right there.
So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, like we all said, this was story driven. Tomorrow we'll have the Avengers, in Cody's defense, and we will see. But question for you guys: with how hot the bloodline is right now, what if he retains?
I wouldn't be mad.
I could see it. I could really see it. I don't know what's
It
gonna happen with
depends how
Cody,
they
though.
it depends
That
how they entertain me.
stipulation, the stipulation that The Rock gave made this super hard for Cody to lose. That's the only. If The Rock never says the words, and Roman or whoever makes the stipulation, you can never go for this title again if you lose. Like that part is like, ugh, I wish they didn't say that.
All right, two quick rumors. Number one, we already kind of discussed it. Goldust, he's showing up tomorrow.
Yes.
As
I'll just
Goldust.
say yes.
As Goldust. No, it's going to be Dustin.
It's
Okay.
Dustin.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Dustin.
Last rumor is a big one.
Austin.
MJF.
No.
Get off the dirt sheets, Mark.
No.
On Twitters. Look on the Twitters.
No.
Nah,
MJF's
dude. I
not-
said this a week ago.
He
And
might
you
be in the
almost sent me to
crowd
hell.
watching. He's probably in a box though,
I
because
don't know.
AEW can't have his face on TV. No, he's still in AEW. He's
AEW
going
did
back
their
to
best
AEW.
at losing that guy about a year and a half ago.
No, he's still in AEW. He's not
I
coming
hope
over.
so. We need this to happen. He needs to stay because the
Who's
reason
we?
why we as fans, wrestling fans, MJF
Yes.
needs to stay in AEW
Yes.
and carry that company.
At least for now.
Because
He can come WWE later. But right now they need him.
The reason WWE is so good right now is because AEW. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well,
shit on AEW all
of
you
them.
want.
Well, ROH, TNA, AEW, like all of them combined. And
Shit on them all you
New
want.
Japan.
I don't give a fuck. But the reason we're getting what we're getting story wise in WWE is because of them.
Think about did you hear when Triple H talked about that they were getting their ass kicked by WCW back in the Attitude Era? Did you guys hear that interview?
Mhm. Yeah, it was with McAfee.
I think he's going back to those roots of like, we have to get back to when we were busting our ass every day, because back then he remembers when WWE was losing the Monday
Mhm.
Night Wars, and he's thinking about that again. Like, okay, we got to get back to that same mindset. Like, we could be losing, what today we're winning, we could be losing tomorrow. So I think it's a good thing that AEW exists. We need MJF to go back as fans for sure right now.
Agreed. Real quick before I get to the last one, bro, MJF cannot please let him. I assume please let him stay. I don't know. Man, hard to tell if he retains. Does The Rock turn on Roman for the spear today? It could be part of the story all along.
No, yeah, if he's gonna turn, it's gonna be the story all along.
It
From
could be the
day
story all
when
along.
Cody said, "I want to take everything from you," that's where it will come from.
So we'll see about that. MJF signed a new contract. Stop grasping at straws. He's not even 30 yet. I hope so. I hope you're right. Competition makes everything better in pro wrestling. Talent has places to work now and get equal, if not more money, because they're going for WWE. Agreed. That's what we need. All right, last rumor: Stone Cold Steve Austin. There or not tomorrow?
It would make no sense to me.
There's been he's been getting like secret presents. He's been posting on TikTok or something.
Mhm.
Like on Easter, he got like he doesn't know who they're from. I don't know if you guys have seen this. He got like beers.
I have, yeah.
Put on his truck.
Mhm.
He doesn't know who they're from. He's in shape.
He got his new
There's
beer.
a chance. I'd say it's like a 20% chance he's there. It's possible. I mean, tomorrow could literally be anyone, everyone. Like if you really wanted to go crazy and get your tinfoil hat, it could be so many people. Like it could be like 3 hours of just getting Bloodline Avengers. Like,
People were
it could be
complaining that
crazy.
tonight's match went too long.
I know. If you guys hit it tonight,
Tomorrow's gonna be like an hour.
yeah.
If Cody wins, he's gonna take like 18 spears. He's gonna get a rock bottom. He's gonna get big splash. He's gonna be busted open.
Samoan Spike.
Samoan
You might see
Spike.
Shane McMahon jumping off. No, I'm just kidding. No McMahon's.
It's gonna be nuts.
It's gonna be crazy.
This is not really a rumor. This is just my question. So it's Bloodline rules. Do we get more Bloodline members added to this war? The brother signing from MLW, the cousin signing, Rikishi, any elders? Do you think any of those guys come into play?
I was hoping that there'd be more Bloodline people involved. I was telling my wife today about how many Bloodline people exist. The Rock's daughter. We were talking about Nia Jax. We were talking about Umaga earlier, rest in peace. But just like how many exist and have been part of this company, I would like to see more of them part of this. Because if Cody's going to get this backup, Roman should get the same thing. So
I'm gonna say no, because my initial, without making any logical sense, I had flashbacks of NWO where everybody was just a member of the NWO.
Okay, good point.
Garbage man.
But you had to join the NWO. You can't just join the Bloodline, except for Sami Zayn.
You have to be Bloodline. Except for Sami Zayn.
Dude, they can do whatever they want. Sami Zayn can get in and do whatever they want. So again, that's my immediate knee-jerk reaction with no logic. I didn't premeditate on that. But if you were to add more,
real quick, you want Dustin and Stone Cold to show up, but Roman gets no one?
Roman has had this for 4 years where he has had help and support and people lying, cheating, and stealing Eddie Guerrero style for him. So if Cody can get this, then so be it, because it's already been proven that Cody, Jay, and Seth can't get it done. They can't.
Nope.
They can't stand on their own feet.
Well, Jay won.
3 times now this has happened where they get decimated. Now it's proven that Seth and Cody can take care of, again, Solo and Jimmy, and that's it. But when it comes to Roman and The Rock, they have failed every single time so far.
Yeah,
so
Rock
there's
going to be
right
for
right now.
He hasn't lost any of the appearances. He's
even if anything that's dealt with them fighting and whatnot. Cody, Seth, and Jimmy and Orville have all gotten their asses rocked so far.
Derek, first off, the Wise Man, as amazing as he is, unless he pulls off some sneaky move to
he's EC dub. He can do whatever he wants to do.
But let's be honest, Jimmy and Solo are just two. Well, this guy, Cody, if we're talking about Gonzo's theories here, by the way, and all the rumors that are swirling. You're talking about Seth, you're talking about Jay, you're talking about Dustin, and you're talking about Stone Cold. That's the minimum of 4. You could have more people that the Bloodline has screwed over the years jumping into this match. Mm-hmm. Sammy could be jumping into this match. He has
and Kevin Owens. And
Kevin Owens
Orton
can jump into this. Randy Orton can jump into this match. There's so many names that would support Cody's side. I'm looking for who's. I mean, the list goes on and on. If we're I said, if we put on our tinfoil hats, we'll be here.
Okay,
forever.
Guy, we get it.
I'm just looking for who could come out here for Roman's side. Rikishi's an option. The other family members. That's all I was saying. Yeah, Seth's dead, so there you go. Cody's gonna need the Stone Cold. Seth ain't showing up, dude.
Seth is leaving his match in a body bag. The F you mean? Yep, accurate. It's all
Seth
accurate.
Ain't making it to the end of the night.
All right. With that being said, we're gonna leave it off with that.
Seth is Vision from Infinity War.
Oh my god! All right, we're gonna leave it off with that, guys. We all had our thoughts. It was a great night 1 of WrestleMania. Tomorrow we will be live again, hopefully immediately following, and hopefully we're all in agreement that Cody is champion. But who knows at this point? But make sure you guys come. Make sure you follow us, AOK Gaming, Raising Personalities, Pro Wrestling Kingpin, all social media. We thank you guys for watching and staying up late because there's a lot of wrestling content today, a lot more tomorrow. But I do want to take this time to revoke you without AOK because he decided to take a cruise on the most important night in wrestling. So make sure you flood his text messages, comment on his posts.
Yeah, he actually has to be at the airport here in 2
3
minutes.
hours. So,
Yeah, I'm about to head to the airport in
yeah.
like 5 minutes.
So
yeah.
make sure you guys comment
Ugh.
on his content, the spoilers, as punishment for him taking the most important night off in wrestling.
God, I'm so excited for tomorrow too, for WrestleMania night
Yeah.
too.
So, all right, guys. Once again, we thank you guys for watching, and remember, join us tomorrow immediately following WrestleMania Night 2. Peace out.
Have a good night.